What's going on, my fellow rock and rollers? Don't forget to hit the bell notification icon to be notified every time I put out a new video on my channel. Now, Rage Against the Machine has been a pretty divisive band on my channel, but I thought I'd talk about a story that was reported a few years ago that may have went under the radar. So back in 2014, Tom Morello performed a solo show in Seattle and was joined on stage by his former Audioslave bandmate Chris Cornell. Audioslave had broken up in 2007, but Cornell and Morello had shared the stage several times since. And following the performance, the guitarist and some of his friends wanted to go to a place in Seattle called the 5 Point Cafe. And Morello and his posse were turned away by the cafe's doorman, citing capacity issues. This is where things get scary. Imagine that you're a business owner or an entrepreneur and you have one irate customer, or even worse, a celebrity who has a huge following on social media, and they go online and try to slam your business. That's exactly what Morello did. He would take to his Twitter account and post the following message: 5 Point Restaurant in Seattle is the worst, super rude and anti-worker, shittiest doorman in the Northwest, spread the word. He would follow that message with another tweet saying, willing to forgive the Seattle Evil Empire 5 Points Cafe doorman power trip if good guy owner D. Meinhardt fully embraces hashtag 15 now minimum wage. It's important to note that Morello's solo show that night was in support of a grassroots campaign to support the $15 minimum wage for Seattle. Now we get to my favorite part of the story. The 5 Point Cafe owner would respond to Morello's tweets through Facebook by geniusly laying out his political beliefs while slamming Morello again and again. He would start by writing, "For the record, Tom Morello, the 5 Point Cafe is totally pro-worker. We try to pay more than any other small restaurant, and on top of that higher pay, we offer health insurance, paid sick days, paid time off, retirement, and profit sharing. Sorry if you had an issue with our staff, but typically our staff is awesome, and when they're not, it's usually a reflection of the customer. Act like a prick equals get treated like a prick," he'd say. He'd go on to write, "I have to say, you're attacking a small business without knowing anything about it, or addressing your problem with them directly before you go on a public rant pretty much sucks. Just lost a ton of respect for you, and I've been a fan for years, both of your work in Rage and your work for workers' rights since." He'd go on to say, "P.S. Rockstars don't get special treatment at the 5 Point. We could give less of a shit. Sorry." The letter would go on to say how the owner has been a big proponent of the $15 minimum wage and a national retirement plan for people who work for small businesses. It would also go on to explain how the doorman knew who Morello was and how they've told bigger rock stars to F off. The doorman would go public with his own version of events, telling TheStranger.com that Morello didn't appear drunk or under the influence or really even come off as much of a jerk, claiming, other than he wouldn't take no for an answer, one of the first things out of his mouth was, "Does the owner like Rage Against the Machine?" I said, "Probably, but we're full right now. Normally I try to be witty with my answers, but the whole party kept trying to get in," he'd say. After being refused entry, the doorman would claim, "At that point where he said, 'We're gonna go to IHOP,' I said, 'Great. IHOP's up the street. They're a lot bigger than we are. Have a good time.' He said, 'I'm gonna tweet you.' And I told him, 'My name's Roach, R-O-A-C-H. If you're gonna tweet about me,' he'd say." Morello would in fact tweet to the owner, trying to extend an olive branch, saying, "Next time we'll call ahead if we want to eat at the 5 Point Cafe." And following the drama at the restaurant, Morello's party would in fact head to IHOP, tweeting, "The trusty attitude-free IHOP where we enjoyed a drama-free stack of hotcakes." Things didn't end there, as the owner of the 5 Point Cafe responded once again with a short blurb, "Next time, don't call. IHOP is glad to take your money and donate it to the right-wing politicians, so keep going there and supporting the very thing you claim to rage against. Pathetic." That does it for today's story, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like button and subscribe. And if you guys have suggestions for future topics, throw them in the comment section down below. Take care.